Hello, it's John Piper with the Tuesday video, and it's Tuesday the 17th of May. Starting with Bitcoin as usual. My target was 20,000 here from much higher levels. Got down to 25, 200 odd, 300 odd, which it actually would do. I mean, it's a pretty big decline. We've got a decent spike here. But there's no clear five-wave advance. I mean, you've got a one, possible 1, 2, 3, rather big 4, and then this fifth wave thing. It just doesn't really look that neat. So I'm not convinced by this. But if we see an A, B, and a C, and maybe find support at the fourth level, and then see a decent rally coming in, then that would give us confirmation of a third wave starting up, and that would be encouraging at this point. I mean, it's possible that the 5 actually is to here, so 1, 2, maybe a 3 to there, 4, 5. I mean, the 3 would perhaps just be longer than the 1, so that could be the 1 wave, then an A, B, C irregular, 2 wave, but then this is just dither again, so it's it just doesn't really look that good as confirmation that we're started up again. So I think this low is probably vulnerable at the moment. But I'll watch what's happening and revise this view as we go forwards, if appropriate. Ethereum rather the same really. We had a possible, quite a nice week of 1, 2, 3, possible 4 to there, but then it went further down, so it's now overlapped well and truly with wave 1, which is not meant to happen. And that would be the 5th, so it would be a rising wedge type pattern. I mean, again, it doesn't really say anything. It looks more corrective. It looks like an A, B, C. This looks quite impulsive. This looks pretty corrective. So I think perhaps, with the downside beckons. I mean, we have got this lunar thing, which has overshadowed the market quite a lot in the last few days. Maybe that's weighing on these major coins as well. But we're just not seeing the kind of stuff that encourages the view of going higher at this point. All right, looking at Luna, the low came in here. In fact, it came from $100, so it's gone from $100 down to 0.00001 at the lows here. It then shot up about to 0.006, but I mean, for $100 is a massive decline. Obviously, I mean, I think supply was increased 19,000 times, as I recall. So you can see why we had this huge collapse. Just watched the Jeff Berwick video on this. He was trading at this point here, and it was curious in the sense that he hit a problem with Binance, in the sense that Binance has a maximum limit on number of coins you can buy. I think it was 9 million. I may have got the figure wrong, but also they have a minimum amount of money you can spend on a trade, and that minimum I think was $10. And Luna got to the point where if you try to buy 9 million coins, it costs less than $10. So you're unable to actually buy the coins because he couldn't meet both limits at the same time, which is a rather curious situation. I think he increased the price from 0.0001 to 0.00012, and thus went over $10 and managed to keep buying at that point. It ended up with, I think, $10,000 worth, which he then sold up here for $500,000. Anyway, the video is worth watching. If you don't subscribe to Jeff Berwick's service, drop me an email. I'll send you a link. But it's an interesting video on trade. I wasn't aware that the thing had a problem at this point because it happened so quickly. But I did suggest buying the coin. Sorry, a punt, I should say. This wasn't a suggestion. Right. I suggested buying it around here. I think around 0.0002. I'd say suggested it was. I say this is not a recommendation in any sense situation. My logic was basically that the stable coin, which I think it's called UTS or UTC, was at 20 cents at the time. So it fallen 80%, and it's a stable coin. It should be a parity to the dollar, and so 20% is like 1 in 5. So my thinking was, well, the market's telling us there's a 1 in 5 chance that something will happen, and this was, it'll come good 1 in 5, but the price possibility is well over 5 to 1. So you buy the thing, you might get 10 to 1 or even 100 to 1. I mean, I guess Jeff Berwick's is trade is an example of this. So that's a punt. I mean, I quite like situations where you have a very high risk reward, as it were, in the sense that you risk a little bit and may make a lot, but more likely lose what you've put down. In the event, we have got this 5-wave advance here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 3 actually subdivides as well, I think. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4 and 5. So quite a good little 5 there. Then an ABC, which found support at 61.8% from there, there, and there. But rather like Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're just not getting much traction now. Having said that, we have got a possible 1, 2, 1, 2. So if this thing can shoot up, then it will start to look a lot better. But it's the same situation really. It just doesn't look that encouraging. But it is following the general market, which I think is perhaps encouraging in a sense, because clearly it disconnected, having gone from $100 down to well, fractions of a penny, fractions of a cent, whereas it's now behaving as a general market, which is perhaps vaguely encouraging. But I say it's still a punt, isn't it? It's, you know, either you like this kind of thing or you don't. But I think it's quite interesting. Let's get onto gold. Right, this is a long-term chart of gold. This is a monthly chart going back to 1917 apparently. In fact, even before that, but the 34 doesn't make any sense because if you put the cursor here, it says actually 1954. So I guess there's some kind of error there. Also, of course, the price of the dollar or the value of the dollar over this time period has varied so enormously that a lot of this is just because it's priced in dollars, which has changed. But I guess that's the nature of gold, and that's why it goes up, because it is a store of value. But exactly where we are in the process is difficult to know, because of course we can't go back before 19. Well, we probably can, but I can't go back at the moment back below 1917. I mean, there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess, but I don't think we're in a 5th wave myself. I think more likely in a 3rd wave. Let's go back to a more normal chart. I think it's not terribly useful. Any comment on that, please let me know. More recently, we had a 5-wave advance from here. Had this triangle developing, 5 waves up. I'm calling it a 1, followed by an A, B, and a C down to here. A equals C, it was around here, but that's fine. A small penetration is, well, not that small, but not that big either. Let's go down to a shorter term chart. It's a 3-month chart. No, it's not a good month. Just a 5-day chart. Okay, yes. So we had a possible 5 ways up here, but that got blown away, so let's get rid of that. So we have another low here, down around 1780. More encouraging than we're seeing on the cryptos, I would say. So we've got, that could be a 1, I suppose, but probably a 1, 2 buried in here somewhere. Possible 1, ABC 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that could be a 3. 4 perhaps, but it potentially impassable. Let me put that on the chart just to show what I mean. Okay, so the 5th wave may not be over. I mean, it's not doing. I thought we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Quite a sharp wave 2 of 5. Now we're dithering a bit, so it looks like we could well break through, but there may be not too much more potential before we see a peak, and then a correction, and then another buying opportunity, I would think. As I've been saying before, I think gold and silver are the place to be at the moment. The most reliable signals we've got, I think, are on gold and silver, other than the sell signals on equities. Let's have a look at silver next. Looking at silver, this was my original 5-wave form. I suggested buying the market in the WhatsApp room on the TTT page, as it were. I think you had to call this 5 up here now, in fact. So maybe the 3 was to there, 4 was to here perhaps, and that was a 5. Slightly not the neatest pattern, but that's okay. So there'll be a 2 down to here, and now this is the 3rd wave coming. Quite a decent 3rd wave, counts quite nicely really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in fact we could have seen the peak of 3 perhaps, but again a solid pattern suggesting higher prices to come, even if the this particular move, maybe this could be a wave 1, I guess. So 2 to come, or this could be we could still have further to go up at this point on silver. Now looking at this again, actually, I think the 1 is here, 2, 1, 2, 3, I think, 4 of 3. So I think wave 3 is still with us. Another leg up at least before we see 4 and 5. So I'm planning to continue holding long on silver, and to add to position. So it's a little bit late in the move now. So I think maybe I'll wait for the fifth wave and the pullback before I do that. But looking pretty good on this market at the moment. FTSE has seen this clear 5 waves up. ABC. I've been thinking we're going to fail at this point. Because I think equities have sort of seen their rallies and they're coming down, but it does occur to me that Germany has been perhaps fatally weakened by the EU and its various policies. The US has Biden, which I guess if a country like, well, any country elects someone like Biden, then I think the writing on the wall, that country is pretty much washed up at that time. So I don't see much hope for either the German or the US stock markets right now, but I think the UK is different. I think the UK has a lot going for it, really. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do in fact make new highs here, not impossible. But at the moment I'm treating this as a corrective move. So this would be an A, a B, and then a C, but there's no sign at the moment. Right now we're going up, and it may well be we're going to make new highs. We'll see how that works out. Let's get on to the DAX. Having said that, the DAX shows a very similar pattern to that of the FTSE, so let's see, is this more like an ABC there, in fact, so that's a bit discouraging and suggests we're seeing a correction rather than a passive move. But I guess you could treat it as a 1 to there, in fact. Maybe a 2 and then a 1, 2, a bit messy really. Well, we had to wait and see, but I mean clearly the short-term trend is up. It just depends whether it can actually make new highs or whether it's going to fail. A much weaker rally on the Dow. 5 waves down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is clear. So it could be an irregular 2, A, B, C, another impassive leg down, but we are in danger of overlapping with the wave 1 low quite soon. So that would confuse the count rather. But that said, it's a pretty weak rally compared to what we're seeing elsewhere. So let's look at the Nasdaq now. Nasdaq shows a far more negative pattern. We had the peak up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1, ABC 2, and now there's quite solid decline, which I count as a wave 3, a very weak rally. So I mean, that's a clearly negative pattern. It could change, of course. I mean, there's always change in markets, but at the moment, this counts pretty well as a wave 3 down. I would expect that fall to continue. That's all for today. If that's useful, back to the report on Thursday. Have a great day. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.